Friday afternoon, right before the Memorial Day weekend, which for a lot of people has already started today. I'm here with the former Comptroller of New York City, Bill Thompson. As you know, I'm running for the State Senate in the 11th Senatorial District. This is a race which Frank Padavin almost lost in 2008 when Councilmember Jim Gennaro ran. He only lost by 400 votes. I'm proud that I have received the endorsement of the Queens Democratic Organization, the Senate Democratic Campaign Committee, and a whole host of elected officials and unions in this race. But I'm really proud to be here today to receive the endorsement of Bill Thompson. This is really an honor. He came within a hair's breadth of being the mayor of New York City, and it really is an honor to receive his endorsement. Thank you.
I know you all may think it's a little strange to see us both at the same podium. You're used to seeing us at separate podiums during the primary, and it was a tough primary. That's what elections do. That's what elections are at times. They're tough. You kind of bump heads with your opponent, but the one thing I've always had a large amount of respect for Tony. He has always been a strong and independent voice. He's always been somebody who has stood up, who's stood his ground, and stands up for what is right. He's represented his constituents. He's represented the public good and the public's best interests. And that's why I'm here, supporting him for the Senate seat. We need to change Albany. We're not going to do it just in reshuffling the decks, or reshuffling the chairs on the deck. We need somebody new. And in this, I think we also need more Democrats. We have to stop where one person can gridlock an institution. We can't allow that to continue. And I'm not pointing at any one person. I'm just saying we need more strong, independent Democrats in Albany and in the New York State Senate. So I'm happy to be here with Tony, somebody who has proven and shown over a period of years he'll stand up for the special interests. He'll stand up and fight with anybody if he believes he's right. And I think we need more of that. More independent, strong voices who are concerned about the people and not concerned about themselves. And that's why I'm here and happy to endorse him today.
And let me just say that we stand united in the need to reform Albany. You know, as Bill said, I'm thankful I had the reputation of being a reformer in the City Council, and there's no place crying out more for reform than Albany. I remember the Brennan Center for Justice years ago said that the New York State Legislature was the worst in the country, and it's only gotten worse since then. Fresh faces, new blood, and a reform mentality going in can only help make the legislature more responsive and eliminate the nonsense that has been going on. So I'm proud to receive this endorsement. Questions?
What do you mean by reform Albany to both of you?
Well, I would say, you know, there are a number of things, first of all, and then I'll let Bill add. I happen to believe in term limits. I think, you know, there should be term limits for Albany. We need a balanced budget on time. By law, New York City has to have a balanced budget on time. Why can't the state legislature have that? And we need to end the pay-to-play in Albany, where the special interest and the money control the legislature. That has to end. Government should be responsible to the people, not the money interests.
And I think the simple fact, what needs to change in Albany? We're here, it's the Memorial Day weekend, and New York State still doesn't have a budget. I think that's just an easy indication of some of the things that need to change in Albany.
Well, as I see it, they are no different between Democrat and Republican in Albany. I call them the Demopublicans party.
I would honestly say that there is a difference in anybody. I mean, when you start to talk about Democrats and Republicans, there is a difference. But I think that what you're seeing right now is not just who's in control. The Democrats are in control of the Senate, but it's also by what margin. And as I said, another one of the important reasons that we elect Tony Avella is so that we have another Democrat. It increases the numbers. It doesn't allow any one individual to hold an entire institution and really an entire state hostage. We have to end that. So I think that there is a difference between Democrats and Republicans. Let's not make that mistake. But I think the need in Albany right now on the Senate is for more and more independent Democrats in the Senate.
Councilman, do you consider Senator Padavin part of the problem
Yes.
in Albany? Some people view him as kind of a moderate.
Well, you know, it's interesting because, and one of the things we're stressing in the campaigns, there are two Frank Padavins. There's the Frank Padovan who fixes the pothole in the district, and then there's the Frank Padovan who goes up and does the Republican agenda in Albany. When I'm going campaigning, for example, I'm telling the constituent in the Senate district, for example, that he was part of the coup. He raised his hand to put a spotter as head of the state Senate. He was willing to change Albany for the worst. He also, remember, was sort of walked in in the Senate chamber so the Senate Democrats could call conference, and then he said he didn't do it. There's a lot of things that go on that Frank Padovan is part of. Let me give you one example, which I think is a good way to contrast him and myself. You all know that when I was in the city council, I refused the Lulu, for example. I turned down $8,000 a year for 8 years. That's $64,000 I could have put in my pocket, because the Lulu is a way the leadership controls your vote. And legislators need to be independent. They need to be able to do what's right. Under Joe Bruno, which was only a year and a half ago, Frank Padovan was the vice president pro tem of the Senate. He was getting a $34,000 Lulu. He wasn't getting that because he was a nice guy. He was getting that to do Joe Bruno's bidding. So one of the things that I have to do in my campaign is educate the people that he's not the moderate that everybody thinks he is. He says that in the district, but when he goes up to Albany, he's totally a radical Republican, and has been part of the nonsense for 38 years.
Mr. Comptroller, do you intend to campaign in the district for the council?
If I'm asked, I'd be happy to.
I'm asking you right now.
So you will see
I'm
us.
glad you brought that up.
You will see us on the campaign trail together. As I said, it's at one podium as opposed to different podiums, but you'll see us together campaigning on the same side.
And if I recall, I seem to recall that the mayor is supporting Senator Padovan and might even be holding a fundraiser for him.
I understand he already had a fundraiser for him in his townhouse, which I think is not going to play well in the district, because in this Senate district, as in my old council district, people were very upset against Mike Bloomberg for overturning the term limits. And they tie that to the 29 colleagues in the city council who voted with him, a lot of which he did fundraisers for in his townhouse. I think when the word gets out, and it's interesting, Padovan has now publicized this fact, that the mayor did a very expensive fundraiser for him in his townhouse, that's going to play very negatively in the district, because again, it's the money interest moving his campaign, not the people, as opposed to my campaign.
When was that fundraiser?
I think it was only a couple of weeks ago.
And just so we have it clear, the district covers what?
Well, it's like a reverse letter C. It starts in College Point, then it takes into account part of Whitestone, Bayside, then it's Belrose, Queens Village, Douglaston, Little Neck, and then it comes right back around to part of Jamaica, Jamaica Estates, Hollis Hills. The interesting thing is it's a gerrymandered district by the Republicans. All the really strong Democratic areas in that district were taken out so Frank Padovan could get reelected time and time again.
When you get it,
the northern portion is in the Senate district. College Point, Whitestone, Bayside, Douglaston, Little Neck. 47% of my old council district is in the Senate district.
Tony, if you get...
And Gennaro actually lost the election last time because of the vote in the northern portion in my old council district. So theoretically, I think it's possible to win my old council district, in which case the election is won.
If you get elected, how do you vote to keep the leadership in the Senate? Will you vote for Pedro Espada to stay?
No, I will not vote for Pedro Espada to be the majority leader.
Many of your colleagues are asking for him to resign now, the leadership. How do you feel about it?
I think he should. I think there's enough evidence to say that there's a problem with him. And even though we haven't seen an indictment yet, the fact that the FBI has seized his files should be enough for him to do the best thing by the Democratic Party and the people of his district.